I just want to remind the listeners that I wet the bed almost every day as a kid, and I got no clout.
Huge news.
Yeah?
Huge news.
Do I know about it?
Yeah, you do.
Oh.
If you're listening to the audio, you better turn on YouTube and subscribe because Brittany has bangs.
Oh, yeah, I got bangs. They look crazy right now.
I think they look good.
Yeah?
I like them with the wavy in your hair.
I was like, let me see what they do when I leave it wavy.
Dude, that's the thing. Like, I feel like whenever I get... I haven't had short bangs in a really long time, but I'll get like pieces, like shape or face shaping pieces.
And they just have this crazy...
And like...
I feel like that's how they... This one was going wild earlier.
Dude, yeah.
Spent
like
a lot of time again.
It feels like for 2 weeks you're figuring out how to style them right.
Yeah.
And then for 2 weeks you style them right and they look good. And then after that, they're too long.
I know. What did I get into?
It's fucking crazy.
Yeah.
Bangs are nuts.
Yeah. I was telling Sam yesterday, I was like, I just got to train them. They're not doing what I want yet. It's like when you get a new dog and it just doesn't know how to be with you. And he's like, you should write that down. That's a good bit. I was like, that's a bit generous.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't think that's a bit.
Yeah,
that's like a first ever bit.
That's like
or something.
No, here's the thing.
Thank you though, Sam. But
I think
he was just pretty drunk.
To be completely honest, that's a Steve Rogers bit.
Yeah.
Where he can make something like, aren't my bangs like dogs? Like, he's just like a good writer, so he can make it really funny.
Yeah.
But if anybody else who isn't obsessed with Brian Regan,
bang dog bit.
if you're not obsessed with Brian Regan, it's every time you write that bit, it's corny.
If I ever write that bit, Ali, you gotta have a little talking with me.
Yeah.
All right.
Totally.
Good.
I'll put you down outside behind the fucking shed.
Yeah. But let me eat something really fun for me before you put me down.
Yeah, I'll give you like a hamburger or something. Like they give dogs.
Yeah.
Dude, I saw a video of a dog about to be put down, so they gave him chocolate.
Yeah.
He was like, they were like,
do
you
dogs
never
even really like that though?
Dogs will literally eat and dogs will eat cat shit out of the litter box.
I don't think they like chocolate.
Yeah, I think it's just that they can't have it.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's so weird.
Yeah.
Dogs will literally eat cat shit
I
out
have
of
so
the cat
many
litter
updates
box.
for you, Ali.
Oh my God.
All right, here's the first
I literally
one.
saw you yesterday.
I know. But there's a lot that I forgot to tell you. And then, okay, so this morning, right?
Sorry, I'm looking at your shirt. She has a shirt with a
right.
from the Bone Museum.
I'm wearing the Bone Museum shirt.
And I'm reading the things, and I'm like, Glabella,
place.
Ramus of the Mandible.
Yeah, I was on the bus here. I was just looking down, reading my shirt.
Pieridal bone. God, I'm too dyslexic.
Frontal, I can't read upside down.
Angle of the mandible.
Frontal eminence. Oh, yeah, that's like the...
Temporal bone. Don't act like you know what it fucking means, Brittany.
Superciliary arch. Oh, that's the brow bone, I guess. Zygomatic process of the frontal bone. It's so hard to read upside down. I feel like I used to practice reading upside down.
Oh, really?
That would be necessary. Like when you were talking about having to do the alphabet backwards.
Like in case I got caught for drunk driving?
Yeah. I think I thought
in case I got a DWI?
I think I just had time to practice stuff that didn't matter.
Yeah, I think that happens a lot when you're a kid.
I was like, what can I do?
Yeah.
Let's see what I can do.
Anyway, tell me your updates.
This morning, I stayed at Dwayne's last night. I woke up and he was like kind of like shaking. He's asleep. He was sort of shaking and like whimpering. He was like,
oh my God.
Like almost like a dog dreaming.
Yeah.
Like, and then I tapped him and I was like, Dwayne, are you okay? Like, are you having a dream? And he's like, oh, yeah. Ali was stuck inside a snake. He was like shaking and whimpering because you were stuck in a snake.
He had a dream that I was stuck in a snake.
Which is where you would love that. You'd
honestly,
love to be in a snake's body for a day.
Dude, honestly, it's like a sleeping
Just
bag that's a little wet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like a big hug.
Yeah, like those pictures of people who are swallowed by anacondas?
Yeah.
It seems like a sleeping bag that's a little bit wet.
Yeah. Same with that guy. Did you hear about this guy who got swallowed by a whale recently?
Yes, I did.
Just a little nice place to sleep.
Yeah. Honestly, it seems cozy. It's like dark and moist and warm.
Slimy.
Yeah, a little slimy, but
yeah.
I don't know. What's the difference between that and like one of those float tanks Those like,
ooh, yeah, sensory deprivation tank.
Yeah, it's like the same thing, basically.
Thing. You can just go in there and calm down.
Bro, you can go into a sensory deprivation tank for free if you go into the Atlantic Ocean at the right time of year.
Yeah. Were you there when we took the video of me yelling?
No. Oh, yes. Yes, I was there.
Let's just play it for the... Because Sam sent it to me this morning.
So last night we were, we all went to the bar because it was the anniversary of my mother's death, and I like to get drunk on that day, and my friends who are kind came and did that with me. And so, Brittany, what were you doing? You were trying to,
I think we were talking about people being bitchy, and then for some reason they wanted me to yell, like to be really angry.
Oh yeah,
so I was trying to act out being as angry as I could and doing it in a really deep, scary man voice.
Yeah. And you also kept going like really low. Yeah. Okay, just play the video.
I was trying to go as low as I could. All right, here we go. How do I don't just start playing? Okay.
Brittany needs 45 minutes to figure out her phone.
Video. I'll show it to you as well.
Hell yeah.
You can see it again.
The best part of that video,
pretty scary.
The best part of that video is you, the pure glee. Immediately after you yelled, you had the time of your life.
I look like shocked that I could get that
you
low.
Were like, you were like a baby laughing.
Baby. I know.
Yeah, you're like that baby that laughs at the paper being ripped,
or the what's it called when you go to Habachi?
Yeah,
restaurant?
Yeah, totally. Yeah. Well, babies are afraid of hibachi. We've learned.
Oh right, I guess only some of them will laugh. The daredevil babies.
Yeah. The babies that you have to like, who are going to become psychopaths.
Yeah.
The babies who are going to become serial killers love hibachi.
That's the official test.
Yeah. Fuck the McDonald's triad, which is like, it's literally called the McDonald's triad, which is killing small animals, bedwetting, and arson.
Yep, and I got one of them.
You got one of three. And
I used to kill ants, but I don't think that counts.
No, ants don't count.
No. And I feel bad about it now, so it definitely doesn't count.
Yeah, totally.
I feel really bad about it.
Yeah.
Fuck
that. Just bring your baby to hibachi and see what happens.
Those are my two main updates. Should we welcome to Worthless Clowns?
Oh my God, yeah.
Podcast about how stupid we all are. I'm Brittany Cardwell, Pretendus Cardwell on Instagram.
I'm Ali O'Neill. You can find me on Instagram at It's Sally O'Neill. Please, for the love of God, follow the fucking podcast. Just
watch us on YouTube.
Follow us on Instagram.
Our views are going back up. You don't want to miss out.
Yeah,
you don't
want to
miss out on
why
it might be going back up, which we couldn't tell you why.
Yeah, we have no idea what's going on, but we're excited about it.
Yeah.
We had such good momentum.
I know.
And then we skipped a single week.
Who did that? Who of you did that?
Yes, who of you?
Who reported something
who of
that you didn't
did
really
that?
mean, but you got mad because, I don't know, we didn't read your rat news. I got some rat news from you there too.
Oh, fuck yeah. All right, sick. I have updates.
Yeah.
Like, a lot of people at my job got fired. So many, and I'm not gonna go into it.
I said I did.
You're just French. The hell? Fired. I'm not gonna go into it.
I couldn't think of any words except tresemme. So I didn't say it, but then I had to tell you.
Oui, tresemme. Yeah, so many people at my job got fired, so my life for the next couple of weeks is going to be hell. But I knew people were getting fired on Thursday, and it was also the anniversary of my mother's death. And I was like, based on the last 6 months of my life, if I get fired on the anniversary of my mother's death, it would make the most sense in the world.
On top.
It would make the most fucking sense in the world. You know?
Yeah.
But I didn't get fired, so now my life is going to suck in a different way.
Am I in a movie?
Yeah.
But then everything would turn around right after. Something would happen. You'd make a big life change.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, somebody would be like, you, come open for me, but stay home. Open on Zoom. Yeah. Maybe our podcast would take off. I don't want to travel.
Oh, by the way, I have a Zoom show for you to do. I'll tell you more about it.
You have a Zoom show
I'm like
for
coordinating
me to
a
do?
Zoom show for a company or something.
Really?
Yeah.
All right.
And you're going to get paid.
Real? Oh my God, I love that.
Just to sit at home.
Damn, that's
Isn't that
fucking
great?
sick. I can't swear or anything. It's got to be clean because it's for a company.
Oh, she didn't say anything about that.
Oop. All right. I love that. Hell yeah,
fine.
dude.
Yeah.
Good shit.
Exciting.
Yeah. You were gonna say something. I'm sorry.
No, I
interrupted you.
actually interrupted you, and I forgot what you were in the middle of.
Actually, I don't know.
Uh-huh.
I forget. You know what? I think our YouTube views went down after we posted too many dog balls. And I had that picture of, I don't know if you saw the thumbnail.
I did,
but it's a dog face down, ass up with underwear on.
Yeah.
And I thought it would be okay because it's a dog. But I don't know. I've seen people's like homemade kimchi videos get taken down because like the algorithm thinks it's surgery. So it's like, so I think that they're like, this is sexual.
Yeah.
It could have been something like that. But we're back, baby.
We're back. They gave us a little telling off. They put us in timeout for a minute.
Yeah, they put us in algorithm jail.
And now we're back.
And for
long. My neck hurts so bad from leaning against the wall, you know, in timeout.
What?
Nothing.
What are you talking about?
I don't know.
Yeah, so hopefully we're back. Dude, for the time when we got like very few views per video or few comparatively, everybody was like, boo, more socks. It was only the feet people.
Only the feet people remained.
Only the feet people were there. And I would like post a highlight, so like a 10-minute clip of the podcast.
Of the best, like most fun story.
Yeah, a fun story. And people are like, boo. And I would like zoom in our faces because it's
not
like,
enough
easier.
Feet.
Yeah, they're like, we're only here for the feet. We don't give a shit about what you're saying.
It'd be
and
nice
like,
if the socks changed every so often.
Yeah, they were like, what about black socks? Can the one on the left put her socks up more? And it's always you, by the way. And I am offended by it.
Yeah. Well, you got a distant sock here. Just one today. We don't need to talk to. We don't need to talk to
this
those
isn't
assholes. About that.
Yeah.
But we do mention it a lot.
Honestly, you can have your foot stuff if you also appreciate us as artists.
Yeah,
that's where I draw the line. We'll do whatever foot stuff you want, but I want you to think we're also funny.
Yeah, just share a clip or something.
Yeah, share a clip. Tell your friends to watch the pod.
We're giving you our feet for sharing a clip. That's a good deal.
Yeah.
I know you guys pay hundreds of dollars to see feet.
Totally. I know.
You're just sharing a clip.
Yeah, I know.
That's worth like,
what's it to you?
What's that, 20 cents? Just time-based? It's cheap is all.
I don't know if they've like a master's degree or something. It probably matters, but.
An economics degree? Someone comment. What's it worth?
Oh my God. All right, let's stop talking about this. This is so boring. Okay. Do you have any more updates? You want to get into our stupid stories?
Yeah, I think most of my updates are stupid stories, except I have an ear infection.
Like a baby?
Swimmer's ear. Crazy.
What the hell?
Yeah, like a baby.
Like, in my mind, only children get ear infections.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And Maggie a couple years ago. But that's exactly what I thought when she got one.
You were like a baby does?
What is going on? It feels like, you must really not be taking care of yourself if you have an ear infection.
So what?
But now I got one.
So
I don't know
how did it? What are your symptoms?
My ear's been aching on and off for months, actually. But
whoa,
I kept ignoring it because it kept seeming like it was going away. And the only thing that was constant is there was like this crustiness in my ear. But when I first noticed it, I thought it was like dry skin. And so I kept being like, why do I suddenly have dry skin and it's like itching me?
Totally.
And then I finally looked it up because it keeps coming back.
Yeah.
And ear infections can be bad, like if they linger too long.
Well, they're also, any infection on your head is bad because it's close to your brain.
Yeah.
As we know by the Bones shirt that you have on.
It's right here.
I mean, I guess the Bone Museum doesn't know much about brains. They only know about bones, but good thing I know a lot about brains.
I mean, it's not that interesting. I'm giving myself antibiotics every day. I gotta lay
in your
down.
Ear, you gotta drop them in your ear.
Gotta lay down, drop them. Gotta be in the mirror because I have to see the drops.
Wait, can you not wear headphones?
They didn't say that. I've been wearing them.
Oh, wow. All right. Cool.
Yeah.
Damn.
That's my only other update. Not very interesting.
You get swimmer's ear like a fucking baby does.
And the doctor's like, "Oh, are you a swimmer?" You know, like pretty confident.
You're like, "No."
I was like, "No."
No, just treating my body like
just
shit.
Gross.
Just generally treating my body like garbage.
Yeah.
Just stressed out and not taking care of myself. Should we go into our stupid stories?
Yeah.
I have a really short one for today.
Okay.
Tell me if I've told this on the podcast, by the way.
All right.
I was trying to think
my memory
if I think I may have told this in the last episode we recorded, but so stop me if we did.
Okay.
So, I'm on TikTok a lot.
Yeah.
I love TikTok. And there's a specific like brand of guy that I really like on TikTok.
Yeah.
You know, like we've talked about him before. There's a guy I follow called the Hot Dog King.
Yes.
Where he just takes, he takes like a hot dog and then he'll put like mustard, relish, soy sauce, chocolate sauce, and then something else on it, and then he'll rate it, He's like, that ain't half bad. Hey, y'all, it's the Hot Dog King here.
Ooh, you know who I like?
Who?
You seen this?
No.
Have you seen the dog who will eat anything, and then it rates it? The dog rates it by smiling. The lady, the owner gives him something like even broccoli. And you're always like, he's not going to like broccoli. He's going to hate broccoli. I've seen my dog spit broccoli out and try it and spit it out a million times.
That's how Betty would do it, yeah.
Yeah, same with grapes. Oh, you're not supposed to give them grapes.
Grapes are poisonous for dogs.
Why did I see that? Good thing she spit it out.
Yeah, grapes and raisins poisonous for dogs, by the way.
Yeah.
It can give them like
dog poison awareness alert. Like when we did scam awareness week.
The time Brittany got scammed. Go back and
I hate that story.
Go back and listen to Scam Awareness Week. And this is Dog Poison Awareness Week this time.
Anyway, this dog, like, she'll be like, okay, let's see what you think about the broccoli. And she'll be like, what do you think about that one? Is it a 10? And then he'll be like, he'll just sit there for a second. And she's like, is it a 9? And he starts going, he shows his teeth to say which number.
That's so
and
crazy.
He changes it. He doesn't like always do the same.
Yeah.
And then she'll even retest. She'll go down and then she'll go back up and he'll do 10 again or whatever the number was. That he liked it. It's great.
That's crazy.
You gotta check this dog out.
I like the dog on TikTok that started pushing all the buttons and was able
Bitch.
to communicate.
Food.
No, not that one. Not that one. The one that it would be like loud outside, and then they would be like, yes, there is a lot of wind outside, and the dog got so good at the buttons and so good at communicating that they had to put it on fucking antidepressants.
Oh no,
isn't that so insane?
That's terrible.
Isn't it crazy?
That's what happens, dude, when you learn too much.
People, all these like hippy dippy like crunchy people are like, we want
I can't keep learning. What am I doing to myself?
All these hippy dippy people are like, well, if we hate having screens. That's why everybody's depressed and has like all these mental disorders. It's screens and it's seed oils and it's cars. And I'm like, no. It's being aware that we're alive.
Yeah.
That's the crushing thing. That's the crushing part of humanity.
Dog being able to communicate in a different, more like nuanced way made him feel more aware of his own life.
I feel like the dog looked in a mirror and was like, that's Bunny. And then the mom was like, yes, that's you. And the dog was like, I want to kill myself. Like, isn't that how everybody feels?
Yeah.
Anyway, so there's the kind of guy I like on TikTok. And then there's the guy I really like who, the eel pit guy who has the eel pit in his basement.
Yes.
There's the guy who puts, there's this medicine.
You're getting Maxim a lot today.
Yeah, I know. Maxim's having a great time back there.
Keep him coming.
Yeah.
I love the brain rot that eel pit guys.
It's not brain rot, Maxim. It's a guy with an eel pit in his basement. If anything, it's educational. Jesus. But there's a guy so there's this medicine that you can spray on your dog's paws that callus their paws so they don't rip as much. So this guy is spraying dog medicine.
City dogs.
Yeah, exactly. So this guy is spraying dog medicine on his hands every day until he can break a cement block into sand. And so he sprays it on his hands and he lathers it up and then he punches a bucket of pebbles a bunch. It's so sick. So this is the part of TikTok that I'm on, right?
Yeah. You were telling us some crazy stuff you see the other day. Like that. I forget what it was.
So there's this one guy that I really love. And so every video starts him holding the camera to the front of his pants.
Yeah.
Did I say this on the pod?
No.
Okay.
I think you said it at the bar the other night.
Okay. So this guy holds his camera up to the crotch of his pants, and then you see him piss his pants.
Yeah.
And then he goes up to his face, and he's like, pissing my pants every day until Mr. Beast gives me $100,000. And he posts every day, pissing his pants every day. No other content.
Yeah.
Some videos, 3 million views.
Oh, man.
Some videos, 1,000.
What is it about the pee that get 3 million views?
I don't know. I think it's just like a really bold
well lit
move.
and stuff.
I think it's just a bold move to piss your pants every day for Mr. Beast. So I love this guy.
And he's
just
feeding the algorithm, and he has his own thing.
Totally, yeah.
So,
And that's all it takes to be famous on the internet is to
what
just
can I do every day?
do your thing.
Yeah.
So this guy pisses his pants every day until Mr. Beast gives him $1,000. I think he's at day like 40-ish. So I followed him immediately when I saw his first video because I went into his account and I was like, this guy's really pissing his pants every day. I was like, this guy's legit, you know?
Yeah.
And so then I follow him, so his videos come up really quickly for me.
Yeah.
And every video he posts, I watch the whole thing because I'm a supporter of his craft. And so the other day, I was on TikTok.
What's his handle?
I don't know. I'll have to look it up. I'll look it up while you're telling your story.
I just thought if it was fun.
I don't think it's anything memorable. It's not like Hot Dog King.
Yeah.
But so the other day I was on TikTok and I was hanging out with Dave. We were both like on our phones doing parallel play is what we call it. And I was like, one of his videos came up and I commented, I was like, do you have a washer dryer in unit? Because I was like, how's this guy? It's different pants every day, by the way.
Yeah.
I'm like, how's this guy pissing in his pants every fucking day, you know? And then
unless he's like buying a bunch of like super cheap pants at a thrift store just for the videos.
Yeah, I mean, maybe that's it. He didn't respond to my question, so I actually have no idea. So
I'll comment. I'll let him know that's possible. That's a way he could do it.
Yeah, totally.
Less washing.
And I'm like, you know, we're on day 40. You must have pissed in those pants multiple times each, you know, if they're your real pants. And so I
start investigating, like you're like checking. You're matching different videos to check
totally.
pants.
And I'm like, all right, he wore the khakis today. He wore the chinos this day. All right, it's been 3 pisses in the chinos. So I'm like, do you have a washer dryer in unit? And then I immediately realize he had posted the video 1 minute ago.
Hello, do you have a washer dryer?
Yeah, so he's like,
I noticed that you have
he's like, pissing my pants every day. And I'm like, do you have a washer dryer in unit?
Are you okay? Do you have a washer dryer?
Yeah.
It's
so
like
then,
you came to the rescue.
So then he posts it immediately. I'm like, washer dryer in unit? And then I tell Dave about the whole situation. I'm like, dude, this guy is going to think I'm a fucking idiot. The guy who pisses his pants on TikTok.
Yeah.
I'm like, God, this guy's going to think I'm so fucking stupid, dude. I'm so embarrassed. I literally had like an existential crisis. I was like, God, he's not going to think I'm cool because I commented so quickly. I seem too thirsty for his pants pissing videos.
Man, that's so funny.
And he never responded. He doesn't respond to any comments as far as I know.
Yeah.
He only pisses
Only
in his
Mr.
pants
Beast.
and then he logs off.
You need to get a fake Mr. Beast like relevant account so that he gets excited, reads your comments.
Yeah.
If you want to post a better comment than that.
I know. I really should have. If I was going to post a comment a minute after
Could you not
posted,
sleep that night? Because you're like, oh, I should have posted
it did keep
this.
me awake. I will be honest. I thought about it probably way too much, to be completely honest. I was like,
stupid.
I was like, God, I embarrassed myself in front of the pants pissing man. Like, literally, like, I was so embarrassed about it to a guy who pisses his pants.
Man.
But honestly, like, I think I respect that man more than I respect most working comedians today because what he's doing takes balls. You know what I mean?
He's
like
persistent. He knows what his thing
he's
is.
persistent.
He knows his voice.
He's creative.
Yeah.
It's creative. You know what I mean? Like, I'm like, all these people posting clips on TikTok of this crowd work shit. I'm like, you know what? Pants pissing guy is more of an artist than you are.
Yeah.
Because you have a rich dad. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you're just like pointing to somebody in the audience being like, oh, you're black. And then everybody laughs.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's a clip?
Yeah.
That's a fucking clip, dude?
Also, like, this piss pants guy probably has a day job. He's got to fit this in.
Absolutely. He has to schedule posts.
And he's so confident in what he's doing.
Yeah.
He's willing to take the risk of getting fired for peeing his pants every day on
Totally.
the internet.
Totally. Let me see if I
Very
can find
brave.
his account. Here, you should tell your story.
Well, I just want to remind the listeners that I wet the bed almost every day as a kid, and I got no clout for that. I didn't get anything.
Oh my God, yeah.
And yeah, I did
You
have
should've put it on
have
TikTok.
to wash my sheets all the time.
You should have fucking pissed your pants and then put it on TikTok, honestly.
Yeah, my mom should have recorded it every morning.
Let's
Made
see.
me really think about it. Made me rewatch it
yeah.
every day. It's like this horrible like trauma.
All right, let's see how good or bad Brittany pisses the bed today.
Man, I can't believe I was dealing with that every day. Crazy.
Was it really every night that you peed the bed?
It was a lot. It was really often.
Like once a week, you would say? Like, I need to know how often.
It's hard to remember. I'll ask my mom next time I talk to her. Remember how fucked up I was, Mom? But to me, in my mind, it felt like almost every day. It may have been less, but then,
Yeah.
you know, it was like I was constantly dealing with it. So my
Yeah,
memory's like
totally,
it was every
totally.
day.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That
But
makes
I remember
sense.
getting so mad. I'd wake up and I'd be like, no.
Yeah.
So it must have not been every day.
Let me
I
ask you
must have
this.
done okay some days and been like, you're a good girl now. Brittany."
Let me ask you this. When was the last time you pissed your bed?
I think I told you this. So I pretty much stopped at 12, pretty late, right?
Yeah.
But then I don't know if I've done this on the pod or not. So I stopped at 12, and then somehow I never peed my pants again until one time I went to I have a sleepover with Sierra at her parents' place. I was sleeping over there all the time.
yeah.
This wasn't like a concern for
Totally,
me
yeah.
anymore. And we're sleeping on their like couch pullout.
Yeah.
And nothing unusual that I remember.
And how old were you?
I was like 16.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Oh no.
I was like driving a car and everything.
pissing the bed and driving a car?
Yeah. I like had a job.
You paid taxes and you were pissing the bed?
And then I woke up and I peed my pants and it was so unfamiliar to me. Like it hadn't happened in so long. I just remember being
Yeah, you're like, who peed on
what
my
the
pants?
hell? Like I probably thought I was
Who
a
peed in this
dream or
bed?
something.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Sierra was great about it, you know.
Of course.
She's one of my best friends
Totally.
ever. And we just cleaned it up. I think she didn't tell her parents for a while.
Yeah.
Now they know. Now they know.
Yeah.
I don't care.
Totally.
It's funny.
I mean,
I was there like all the time. We were like best friends with her parents too. So. I have dreams about wetting the bed a lot.
really?
Mm-hmm.
Damn.
Yeah.
I know people who have wet the bed personally, but like they will have a one night stand and the guy will get super drunk or the
Yeah.
woman will get super drunk and they'll piss the bed.
Yeah.
I've never been so drunk that I pissed the bed.
Me either.
I've been so drunk that I, like in college, I had a trash can next to my bed because I knew I was going to puke during the night because I was so fucked up.
Yeah.
And I puked into the trash can but missed and then dropped my phone in it.
Oh no.
So that's pretty fucked up that I did that. Oh, careful. Oh my God.
What happened again?
You got to twist this guy right here.
I think it was just on the very end of it.
Yeah.
So it, like,
Totally.
yeah, there we go. Just doing a little.
Don't
like,
worry, I'll
fix.
cut this out. Cut this out.
What the hell?
Are you ready for you get a stupid story for me or what?
Yeah. So this is a combo because it was all from my time in Denver. So some of the stuff you've heard.
Mm-hmm.
The first one is, so I was staying in a hotel, and I took a pretty huge dump.
Oh yeah, you texted me about
I
this.
did. I took a huge dump, big enough for me to think of that poop knife post that we read.
You're like, this
read
is
on a
what the
previous episode.
poop knife is for.
I was like, I think I get it now.
So was it
Some
so
people
big?
take dumps like this all the time.
So was it so big that you would flush and it would just spin?
It was so big that I was like, before I flushed, I was like, oh no.
You were doing like the sign of the cross and
Yeah,
shit.
yeah.
Totally.
And
Yeah.
also like I've been having this thyroid problem, you know about? And
Yes.
it causes like constipation, like it makes your bowel movements different.
Oh, I
So-
didn't know that.
Yeah.
And
so,
you were traveling, so
when I
it's
was
like
traveling,
a double. Yeah.
So I've been hey, you guys know I never get constipated unless I travel, but the last couple months
If you
constipated
guys-
every day.
Real
almost.
fans of the pod will know. Real fans of the pod will know that Brittany
You know
only
my-
gets constipated when she travels.
You know my body almost as well as I do.
Are you talking to me or the listeners?
I don't know. I'm just talking.
Dude, to say to like probably like 120 people who are listening by this point, you know my body more than I do.
That's why I have this shirt. I have to be reminded
Yeah.
all
you're
the
like,
time.
dude,
I'm
honestly,
just bad at it.
you should make this shirt and then instead of all the names of the parts, it should just say Brittany. Just She's wearing a shirt that has
Brittany
a skull,
Carvel.
and then
Brittany
has
Carvel.
it's like a scientific thing where they like point. It's
Yeah.
like mandible, blah blah blah. It's just like Brittany to remind yourself of
I
who you
love
are.
that. And it's small, so then when people like, they're like, "Oh, cool shirt," and they start trying to read the labels.
Yeah, and
They
they're
just
like,
all say Brittany.
"Is this for you?"
And they get smaller, and they're like, "Oh, that one says Brittany too."
Yeah.
So
Okay.
anyway, I take this huge dump, and
Anyway, let's get back on track.
and
I
the-
take this huge dump.
yeah, the consistency is a lot. It's a lot firmer and more condensed than normal,
Mm.
and I know that. I'm like, oh no,
Yeah,
like because my typical poop, even that big, would probably be fine. Flushing.
totally. Yeah.
And
You gotta
also,
hydrate.
I'm at a conference. I'm at a work conference.
Oh my god, yes.
and I'm
you're in a
like trying to
hotel.
leave.
Yeah.
I'm trying to leave to go to a session, and then I have like a meeting with a researcher.
Oh my god.
So I'm like kind of rushing to leave, and then this happens, and I see it spin around, and I'm like, oh no. And then I was like, well, I guess I'm not going to make that first part of the session. I'll just there's no plunger in there.
Yeah.
So I was like, I'm just going to like finish what I was doing, let it fill up. If you flush a couple times, it will like figure itself out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like as long as it seeps down enough, you can just reflush, and it might
Totally.
correct.
Yeah.
I did that like 4 times.
Wait, so why? Because this is what I would do, but this
Mhm.
is also like my personality and probably not the correct thing to do. If I was going somewhere and I clogged the toilet and I was in a hotel room that I wasn't sharing,
hmm
I would just leave it and I'd be like, that's a problem for Allie in 8 hours.
I think I did not want to deal with it later. I
That's
was like,
fair, yeah.
I'm going to feel more disgusted.
Yeah. Also,
Yeah.
if you like get back like late,
Mhm.
then there's not going to be as many people at the hotel to help
and then what
you.
if I
Yeah.
really have to pee and now I have this
just
problem?
piss on top of it? Piss is just water.
Yeah. I told someone about this right after it happened. And she told me one time like her husband had clogged their toilet,
Mm-hmm.
and she was like, "Oh, I'll deal with that in a little while." But then suddenly she had to take a shit. And she knew she couldn't go in there. So she shit in her cat's litter box, which I think is a really smart move.
Whoa.
Isn't that a great idea? Like
Um,
fast thinking.
I guess here's how I
And
feel.
she cleaned it up.
Here's how I feel. I mean, I guess that's smart, right? But
Yeah.
what's the difference between that and like pooping in like a trash can?
Yeah, trash can's possible too.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I guess like cat's litter box. I would be
just don't-
afraid.
I
'cause-
think it was happening quickly, and she saw that and was like, "That'll work."
yeah,
I don't
she
think
saw a
she
turd
was
in there
like-
already.
I don't think she was like, "What are all of my options
Yeah,
in the apartment?"
having an emergency shit and being
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
what are all of my options right now?
Okay, so this is almost over. This isn't even really a story. I flush it several times. It keeps filling up. It keeps getting close. You know when it gets close to the line?
Mhm.
It's like a rush because you don't know if it's going to overflow.
Yeah, I'm super familiar with all of this because of my dumb throwing my vape
Yeah.
down the toilet shit that
Yeah.
I did.
Yeah. So it kept like almost filling up, and I'd be like, "Uh-oh," but then it'd go back down. And I'm
Yeah.
like, "Okay."
Yeah,
and
it's
then
a
right
huge
before I'm
rush.
leaving,
Sorry, I completely,
I know.
I brushed past that.
And you're like, "I totally agree. I totally understand."
Yeah, I know. Because truly, in my mind, I was like, yeah, you're a fucking idiot, Allie, because you flushed your vape down the toilet and now you're broke. So I wasn't
You
able
saw
to
like
appreciate.
$800 floating in front of your mind.
Yeah,
too.
totally. And I'm like,
Yeah.
wow, you could have gotten a tattoo or,
Mhm.
anything you could have done with that. But yeah, no, the idea that it's a fucking rush when the toilet almost overflows is insane.
So the final one, I'm like, let me just do it one more time, see if it works, and then I'm gonna go. I gotta
Mhm.
go to this conference. I do it one more time, and suddenly now it's going way up, like it's out of control. Flooded the entire bathroom, like
With
it's-
poopy water?
Yes.
Oh,
It was crazy. This has never happened to me before.
with poopy wawa?
Yeah. And I'm going, no. And then I'm like,
You're like
trying
in a
to
suit with a clipboard about to go to a conference
Yeah,
about science?
Yeah.
Oh my
I have
God.
my lanyard on and everything.
Your lanyard.
I have like a little what is it called?
You have your pass.
Yeah, what's the jacket everyone
Blazer.
wears? A blazer. I have a little blazer on. And everything.
You're wearing ballet flats because we're millennials and we don't know any better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, I wore my Docs because I don't have comfort shoes anymore.
Great idea.
And it was snowing, so I was like,
Docs
this
are
is
great
the
for that.
reason
Yeah.
for this.
Docs are honestly my go-to fancy shoes because I don't have to do anything fancy ever.
Yeah.
Anyway, go ahead.
So it's overflowing
So
entirely.
your bathroom flooded with a poo
with
poo
poop
wawa.
water. Yeah.
Yeah.
I did not tell Dwayne this, I don't think. No, I didn't.
Good thing he
And-
doesn't listen to this podcast.
Yeah.
Honestly, neither does Dave. He hears me yapping enough.
Yeah. And it's like I'm like moving stuff out of the way. There's like a basket of towels on the ground. It's like about to immerse. And
Oh my God.
yeah, and then I'm just standing there like, oh, what do I do? Now I have to call the front desk and tell them I like really, really messed up.
Guys, I really messed up.
Messed up. And so then I call and I'm like, hello, I'm in room 1022 and yeah, so the toilet's clogged.
You're like, somebody came in here and clogged the toilet.
My friend threw her vape in the toilet. She's so stupid.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, so and they're like, okay, we're going to send one of our engineers up. They call them engineers.
Hell yeah, dude.
It's just a guy with a plunger.
It's a handyman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Engineer.
Yeah, totally.
I heard them. There was like some problem with the internet the day before and like a bunch of systems were going down and everyone was freaking out. It was like they're all just trying to serve people dinner. And they were calling everybody an engineer. It's just anyone who works at the hotel who like solves a problem.
Also,
it doesn't matter what it's related to.
Here's the thing. Hotels like to call people engineers like to make it seem fancy to guests, right?
Yeah.
I'm like, if you're going to call people engineer, give them an engineer's salary.
Yeah.
You stupid bitch.
Yeah.
Being a plumber, being an electrician, being a fucking janitorial staff, it's a hard job.
Yeah.
Pay them good if you're going to call them a fucking engineer.
Yeah.
If not, don't do all this shit. You know what I mean? Like, come on.
This guy walked in here and I'm like, hello, yes, I'm the one who shit the toilet.
Isn't it crazy? Isn't it crazy?
I was being so
when
polite,
you have to interact
like,
with somebody
overly-
who's shoving your turd down a wet hole.
Yes.
Isn't that so nuts?
He comes in, I'm sitting on the bed just watching him. Like,
yeah, and you're like, well, to be completely honest, whenever I travel, I get constipated. And also I've been having this hypothyroidism issue, which also causes constipation. So it's kind of a double whammy.
Yeah. I don't have a poop knife. I just found out about
I don't have
that.
a poop knife. Did you have a poop knife in your house? I just found out about it.
Here's a post. Read
Maybe
the
I
post.
should. Do you want to listen to our podcast? Do you want to come to our special
my
special
special
taping
taping.
December 3rd?
So then he's in there like fixing it and it's flooded everywhere. He can see how bad it is. And he's acting like it's fine, right?
Well, I'm sure he sees this.
I know.
Seen worse
But
stuff.
he comes in and he's like, oh, this girl she really fucked up.
Damn, she pooped hard.
Yeah. And then he fixes it. It always happens so quickly. Plungers are amazing inventions.
I know.
They're incredible.
Also, here's the thing. Why don't they have a plunger in a hotel room so you can fix that problem yourself?
I thought of that. They should, but at the same time, I feel like people are weird about using other people's plungers. So they probably guests thought it was gross.
Well, you know what they should do? They should have a plunger with a chain attached to something, like a pen at a check-in desk.
Yeah.
So nobody steals
you can
it.
go grab a plunger.
And then also, like, you can put it in a... Also, it's like, when you're in a hotel, you assume they clean everything.
Yeah.
So it's like, put it in, like, on, like, a white disc that's completely clean and, like, have them
Looks
clean
like
it.
a fresh plunger.
You know what I mean? Because then you don't have to call some guy to go...
I know. I was like,
fucking-
I can just do this.
Yeah.
He plunges it, and then I hear it all go down, and I'm like, oh, good. And then he looks in for a second, and he reflushes, and I'm like, what was in there? What did you see?
A turd came up. Dude, that turd was like that anglerfish looking at the sun.
Yeah.
God damn it.
So then I went and listened to some talks and acted like it never happened.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, and I called the front desk, and I was like, could
somebody come clean some poopy water off the ground, please? So you sent your engineer. Who's your poopy water guy?
Yeah. Should I tell you the second part of Denver real quick?
Yeah, we got time.
Okay, I think we have enough time. Yeah. So on my way back, I got an Uber to the airport. Right.
Mm-hmm.
Uber driver picks me up, and he's like this old guy, and he seems fine, and he starts talking to me, and I'm like, well, He's being nice, but it's kind of annoying. I'm like really tired. It's early in the morning.
Totally.
And
I mean,
got a 40-minute
Ubers,
drive.
For the record, for people who don't live in New York.
Yeah.
In New York.
It's always outside of New York.
When you get in an Uber,
Mm-hmm.
the guy will either be on the phone talking quietly to somebody else, or he won't talk to you the entire trip.
Yeah.
Every once in a while, you'll get a chatty Uber driver,
Yeah.
but for the most part, they're silent. In other places, people are really chatty.
Yeah.
Which honestly is nice to connect with people.
Yeah.
Like, they are providing a service. Like, we should be nice to them,
And it
whatever.
is usually nice in the end, but
Yeah.
sometimes when it starts, I'm like, I can't talk right now.
No, totally.
I
Like, we
can't.
get into Ubers expecting people not to talk to you.
Yeah.
But then, you know, you're like, Jesus Christ, this person is like trying to connect. Also,
Yeah.
I think that people like Uber drivers are like, oh, if I like am nice and
Yes,
personable,
I'll
then
get a
I'll
good
get like a good tip and
rating
stuff.
and
And so it's
everything.
like, yeah,
Mhm.
of course. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. So
Mhm.
anyway.
So he starts talking. Mostly he's just telling me all about his life and his memories. And he's telling me
The way that you talk about shit, Brittany. He's telling me information and his memories.
I mean, I didn't feel like talking, so I was like, that's fine. I can listen and I'll,
Yeah.
I'll
It's
respond it a little bit.
an easier lift than
Yeah,
talking.
yeah,
Yeah, totally.
And I mean, I was exhausted from the conference and my hypothyroidism.
Yeah.
And so he keeps going and he's like, I played softball, you know, and my mother was the coach and I wasn't very good.
He played softball? What
And-
was he, a lesbian?
No, it's like t-ball. No, it
Oh.
was softball. Yeah, it was softball because
Do
I
men
thought
play
about.
softball?
I guess
don't
so.
know.
This was as a kid.
I
I
don't
don't
know.
know.
All I know is softball lesbians, and that's it.
Yeah, he's like.
In America, there's only softball lesbians and baseball men.
So
There's
he
two
starts.
genders.
He starts just telling me all about this stuff, and that's fine. Except that this guy, as soon as he starts telling me these stories, now he's taking his hands off the wheel and gesturing a bunch. He's like stops driving, and he's like looking at me in the car rearview mirror.
This is
Too
literally,
long.
bro.
He's telling me the story, and he has to, while he's telling it, he has to look me in the eye through the mirror.
and take his hands off.
Yes, he's taking his hands off. So then I'm listening to him, and I'm like, oh no, this feels really unsafe. But I can't tell him like, keep your eyes on the road.
Yeah.
And it feels really unsafe. So then I was like, well, I'll look at the road. So I'm like looking at the road for him, and he keeps talking to me, and then I glance every so often, and I'm like, and then I look back to the road.
Bro, this is a sketch, first of all. The Uber driver who's like, I caught a fish and it was this big. You see?
He's
this
spinning
big.
around.
Yeah.
He's like doing all sorts of stuff.
He's like, you know, the Macarena? Like doing
Yeah.
literally everything,
Yeah.
but like putting his hands on the fucking wheel.
It was crazy.
God, that's so funny.
And I'm like, well, this guy drives Uber all the time. Like,
Yeah.
I guess maybe he's safer than it looks somehow.
Do you think he had
Then
his-
he ran a red light. He ran a red light. And I was like, what the hell? This whole drive, I was so scared. And then we get on the freeway, and he's like winding about because he keeps taking his hands off to tell me some stories.
Yeah.
I don't know if he's looking anywhere, but he's such a sweet guy.
Yeah,
Just a
he's like
sweet old
nice and
man.
wants to engage
Yeah.
and connect and shit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and
But
I'm like
in the
barely
process,
listening because I'm
he's-
watching the road.
Yeah, in the process of connecting and engaging, he's putting both of your lives at
I
danger.
know.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then he starts telling me about his family. He's like, I have a son, blah, blah, blah. I do this and this. He's like, yeah, me and my ex-wife, we did get divorced because I started having sex with men. So it went from this childhood, like, oh, I used to play like softball. My mom was the coach, to like, by the way, yeah, this huge life event happened.
He's like, by the way, sometimes, you know, you think you have gay thoughts when you're younger and you'll just get over them. But, you know, sometimes those gay thoughts turn into gay feelings and then you get divorced.
Yeah. And he's like, she was pretty angry with me. He's like, she took me to the pastor, and
Oh, that's even worse when it's like
Yeah.
a religious thing.
yeah.
Ugh.
And then he was like, and I already had told him everything. He was already like dealing with this and telling the church that he
Damn.
was like sinning in his mind and their mind. I
mean,
guess.
that's a very real thing where
Mhm.
people will have gay thoughts and they'll go to their pastor and be like,
Yeah.
sir, I have gay
Yeah.
thoughts. And then the pastor will be like, sick, me too.
Yeah. So
Do you have any
then-
kids?
Yeah. So then he's like, she brought me there, and then because I had already told him everything, then I had to tell her everything.
Oh my God.
Because he like couldn't leave stuff out in front of the person he'd already told.
Yeah.
So then he was like, yeah, she was pretty upset with me.
This isn't. First of all, how long was this Uber ride?
It was like 40 minutes.
Oh my God.
Yeah. I was like really scared for my
40
life.
minutes of him being like, I'm gay and got divorced. Not looking at the road.
It
No
was
hands on the wheel.
So funny. I wanted to get
God.
out of that car so bad.
Bro,
but then he was
needed
like this
somebody to
sweet
talk
guy.
to.
Yeah, and then he just wanted to share this with me.
Yeah.
And then he's like, well, now they're friends. They're good friends. So it
That's
worked
good.
out.
That's good.
It's fine.
At least they can co-parent in a healthy way.
Yeah.
You know, here's the thing. My dad, not even gay.
Not even gay.
And my parents got divorced and they hated each other.
Yeah. Yeah.
They hated each other.
Mhm.
After my mom died, my dad was like, I don't know if your mom's in hell, but
Oh, yeah. I forgot about that.
for real. So it's great
Jeez.
that people can get divorced and they can
Yeah.
fucking, still
It's
be
so
friends
nice.
and shit.
They're friends. And
Yeah.
then he was like, started telling me about the next person that he started seeing. And then he was like, and that didn't work out. And then we pull up to the airport. He's getting out of the car and he's like, and now I'm in a great relationship. And he's like handing me my bag. And he's like, and it's just so wonderful how the love just really opened up for me. And I was like, thank you so much. Have a good day.
And then you're like 1 star on the way out.
It was like so sweet. And I was so
Yeah.
glad. I mean, I was scared the entire drive because of his
Totally.
driving. But I was
Yeah.
like, oh, I'm so glad I got to hear it from this man.
Also, here's the thing. That guy needed that.
Yeah.
And so it's nice that you were in the car and not some asshole who would be like, no talking, please.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah.
So it's nice that you guys both
it's
had
nice
each
that
other
I let him run a red light so he could tell me about his divorce.
about his gay divorce. Yeah. And so like, I don't know. It's just nuts. Like in those situations, as a human, you want to be there for them.
Yeah.
But you're like, also, put your hands on the goddamn wheel, bro.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Like, do you need people to talk to this fucking bad that you started driving Lyft? Like,
Yeah.
what is going on?
Yeah.
You know? But I guess like there's no other way to, I don't know.
No. And I think when you're older, it's like your friend groups, he has his partner.
Totally.
And then
Yeah.
it's probably his Lyft people.
Yeah.
I mean, it's probably like late 60s.
I was in an
early
Uber
60s.
recently coming from, it was from Katrina's place when we all hung out at Katrina's.
Yeah.
And the guy
I'm
was
just pulling up
like,
our post.
I was like on, yeah. I was like, I had my headphones in and then he was like, Allison. He was like, cold out, huh? I took my headphone out and he was
Hey,
like,
Allison, I want to talk to you
Allison.
about the weather.
yeah. And he's like, pretty cold out, huh? And I was like, yeah, that's right. And I was like, oh, I have to go home and I have to walk my dog. My dog hates it. And he's like, I love dogs. And, we connected in that way. And here's the thing. I feel like so many people that you interact with are just like nice.
Yeah.
And you should just give it to them.
Yeah.
But sometimes I just want to be in an Uber silently.
I
Oh, you know
know.
what I found out about myself very recently? This happened to me 2 times in the last week where I was buying beers
Mhm.
and the guy at the bodega was like, are you 21? Are you old enough? And I did this thing where I was like, I'm way too old. I'm way old enough. And I liked it. And I was like, oh my God, I turned into like my mother.
Yeah.
Where I'm like,
yeah.
a woman who's
Her
clearly,
sister, no.
yeah, I'm clearly over 21 and a guy being like, are you old enough, ma'am?
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
like, like I'm literally that now, which
Yeah.
is so crazy.
I think I did that for a while too.
yeah.
Yeah.
This is like the first year. I'm 29 but I got a lot of miles on me. So I don't know. God knows how I look in those bodega lights. I could seem like I'm 45, and they're like, are you old enough, ma'am? And I'm like, you want to see my ID?
Check it. All
Yeah.
right. I think we should do the cat post.
Yeah. I
Okay.
agree.
All right.
We're going to read a post from an internet user.
Here it comes. Bit of backstory. I've been living in an English-speaking country since I was 10. My accent is 95% gone, and people who meet me generally don't realize I'm not a native speaker. Once in a while, though, I'll mispronounce something or use a wrong word. He doesn't say where he's from, though, I don't think. Okay. My cat died yesterday. She was my baby, and I miss her very much, and I can barely function without randomly bursting into tears. I took off work yesterday so I could grieve and bury Jer. I guess the cat's name's Jer.
Like short for Jerry?
I think it's Jer.
Damn.
Oh, it's probably a typo. It's probably her.
Oh.
It's not capitalized. Bury her in my yard. Because I was like, oh, you're just throwing in Jer without telling us
that
what's
was
the name.
so dumb.
Yeah.
Bury Jer. I guess that's the name.
Bury Jer in my yard under the bench we used to sit on and watch the birds in the summer. Oh, oh, that's so sweet.
Every day of my life, I hold Betty's head in my hands, and I'm like, if you ever die, I'm killing myself. So. And
then at the end of the lobster tour, they put a lobster on your head.
So.
It's an old line from my little brother. All right. Oh my God, I have an update about my little brother for next week.
All right.
I got so many updates I forgot about.
Oh my God,
there's
baby,
like 3 more in there.
I know.
Decided to bury her under the bench we used to sit on and watch the birds in the summer. I thought she'd like that. My sister stopped by to console me and brought me a homemade meal. Despite it being delicious, I could barely eat and saved it for later. Today I had to go to work, so I packed the rest of the dinner for lunch. Sorry, silent burp. When I came in, my eyes were puffy from crying and people were asking me what happened, and I explained about my cat. During lunch, I was heating up my food and a woman I work with asked me what I was having, and I responded, "The remains from yesterday." She looked disgusted, but I thought, whatever, maybe she doesn't like to eat food from the previous day. That's probably it.
Oh, no.
A few hours later, I got called into HR.
Oh, no.
And I was told my colleagues would prefer if I didn't eat house pets in the shared dining space.
Okay, first of all,
man, oh man, that lady took too big of a leap, and she told everyone.
I'm gonna say right now,
and they all went to HR.
This is racist.
Yeah,
because people, you know how white people get about other people's food.
Yes,
like,
and she just was like, it's an animal.
Yes.
It's a dead animal.
They were like, it's
a
somebody's cat. Yeah, it's this is. I don't know the race of this person. But
I think Trump worked in this office.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
It was Donald Trump.
Yeah.
It was Donald Trump who sent her to HR.
Yeah. She looked disgusted, but I thought, whatever. Maybe she doesn't like food from the previous day.
Yeah, I know. Just leftovers, yeah.
Your colleagues would prefer you didn't eat house pets in the shared dining space. What the fuck? I was so confused, then appalled. Confused, then appalled.
Also,
then calm.
Also, imagine being...
Then I just dealt with this situation calmly.
Imagine being an HR person and being like, hey, so we just have to like set some ground rules. You can't eat house pets in the office common space. It's like such a specific thing.
Why doesn't the HR person do their own investigation first?
Yes.
And just check in
instead
and
of
see
being
what's
like,
going on?
This is definitely true.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally.
Crazy.
Yeah.
I was so confused and appalled. Why would anyone think that? Lots of question marks. I was going back to all the conversations I had that day, and at no point did I say anything about eating pets. She had to double check all her conversations.
Yeah, I know, because of course she's fucking confused.
HR lady let me go, but then a few hours later called both me and the woman in who watched me heat up my lunch. That's when it came out. I said I was heating up remains when I meant leftovers.
Yeah.
And my coworker assumed I meant cooked my cat and was eating it due to some mental breakdown I was having. I do know what both words mean. And that they're not interchangeable. I was just wasn't thinking clearly.
Yeah.
Despite my explanation, people are still giving me looks.
Oh my God.
Man, that's messed up.
I also feel like somebody who speaks English as a first language could make this mistake.
Me too. I
don't know.
I
say weird shit all
that.
the time.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know.
And
it's just so crazy.
I would easily say I'm eating the remaining. And then I
or the remainder,
might have thought
yeah.
the remains an accident.
Totally. Yeah.
I could easily do this.
No.
I'm so stupid. I would do it out of pure stupidity too, not out of just like
Yeah, not out of knowing a
not
second
even
language because I fucking
issue.
don't.
Just really dumb.
I would just do it. I would just do it out of being a freaky little guy.
Yeah.
And not thinking about stuff.
Same. And just wanting people around me to treat me weird because I think that's what I deserve. That's why I would do it.
Okay, Brittany, that's enough.
Yeah, I got you good, Brittany. I'm just like doing a thing in my mind now. Allie,
What's happening?
I'm doing a thing in my mind.
Yeah, I know. You're over here being like, I'm just doing a thing in my mind
I'm
now.
over here having my
so...
thoughts. Man, that's wild.
That is so crazy.
This is similar to it is way different, but it is similar to the time the lady was cooking potatoes and eating potatoes.
Oh,
Remember?
yeah.
And someone thought that was really weird.
Well, she was cooking baked potatoes.
Yeah, and eating them whole.
And then just eating them like you would
carrot.
a banana, kind of, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then people were like, this is too hot and sexy for the office.
Yeah.
People were like, this is turning me on too much. I have to call HR. Dude, when people, like, there's this weird thing that, like, people do where they see something that is completely unsexual and then they call it sexual. And I'm like, you're the freak. You're the freak. It's like when like a 5-year-old wears a bikini, people are like, she shouldn't be wearing that. And I'm like, what, you think that she's hot? That's your fucking problem, bro.
Yeah.
Like, this is disgusting that you feel that way. But then we all, I don't know, it's just crazy.
It is.
And so it's like, people are like, oh my God, you're eating a banana like you're sucking a big sloppy cock. And it's like, all right, sounds like you have the fucking problem.
Because people say that so often, they make that connection.
Yeah.
People feel weird eating bananas in public.
I know.
I'm talking about myself.
Bro, I'll
be eating a banana and I'm like, I take a bite real quick.
And you hate it.
Or I'll pick a piece off the top and then eat that.
Yeah, and you act like you just hate it. You're having a bad time.
Yeah.
You're not enjoying it at all.
Yeah. Or I chew a lot. Or I turn it to the side and I eat it like a corn cob. That's what they've made me do.
There you go. Yeah, this is what the patriarchy has done to us. They just eat a fucking banana like it was a corn cob.